What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Vegan Yak. I'm Walter, and welcome to the first stream. Thanks for being patient with me. That's what I'll start off with. I'm so excited to be back. I took a small break, which was going to be a couple of weeks, and I'll go into what happened here in just a second. But first, today, what are we doing today? Well, I'm going to go through some comments that I haven't responded to yet. I pulled some juicy ones, so I think this will be good. Hey, Easy Breezy Vegan. How are you doing? Yeah, definitely send a message in the chat over there. Say hello. And I'm also going to be eating some vegan snacks today. I got this box of vegan cuts. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. I got it from work, of all places. It's really old because it's like a few months old because I was going to do this a few months ago, but I couldn't. So anyway, yeah. First of all, again, just thanks for your patience. Life has been absolutely nuts lately. So Brianna and I actually had our second wedding. We had two weddings because of COVID. We had the second one, so that was busy. Then right after that, we had a family moon, like a family trip. We had my birthday, we had Brianna's birthday, we had Mother's Day, we had Father's Day. And then on top of that, the most important thing is unexpectedly, we decided to move. So we sold our house and moved, and we only moved like 10 minutes away. We're just trying to get a little bit more space. But as you know, moving is like absolutely nuts. And moving is my least favorite thing. What's up, Daniel? How are you doing? Daniel Brockert, everybody. What a good person. Oh, and Vegan Gaze is here. Hello, Vegan Gaze. How are you? But yeah, so moving was nuts. We're still not like really even fully unpacked yet. We're close. We still have painting and other projects, and as you can tell, we're building this studio, but there's absolutely nothing behind me right now. So eventually I'll have a little bit more of a visually interesting background for you. Hello, Chris. How are you doing? And yeah, so what is nice is that we do have this room, which is like an office and a studio. So the camera's up, the lights are up, and it'll be easy for us to just come in here and kind of crank out some more content. So very excited to be back. Oh, Vegan Gaze, you're moving. Oh my gosh, it's been 2 months of trying to find a new job in a new area. Yeah, moving is the worst. Oh, 40-year-old vegan, how you doing? Yeah, like if there's something that I could think of that I hate the most besides, actually really terrible things, it's moving. I just hate every single bit of the process until you're finally like in and settled. And that for me probably won't be for another few months because we just have so many like projects and stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, again, I just want to say thanks for your patience through all of that. And a special thanks to all of the subscribers. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. But thanks to all the subscribers, because actually 2 days ago, we hit 1,000 subscribers here on the channel. So thank you guys so much for supporting the channel and helping spread the vegan message out here. So yeah, let's get started. I'm going to post this first comment here in just a second, but should we open up a snack first? Should we open up something from Vegan Cuts? I got this from my work. My work actually sent this to me for being good. I don't know. I don't know why they sent this to me. I don't remember. It's literally been forever. But yeah, let's open this up. Let's see what's in here. Let's try something. Okay. Oh my gosh, this box is like really heavy too. So I don't know. Thanks, Austin, for the congratulations. I don't know what all is in here, but man, it is a heavy box. This one seems like super heavy. That's probably what it is. Oh, well, there's this organic oat milk. I probably won't just be chugging on that during the stream. Maybe. Uh, let's see if it's expired, because that's probably what happened since I took forever to open this box. If it's expired, I'll drink it. I'll drink it for you if it's expired. That'll be fun. But I won't do that one first. Let's try these little things. I've never seen these before. This is called Bakery on Main. I don't know if you can see that one. White chip raspberry swirl decadent granola. Decadent granola. I've been like trying very hard to eat a little bit healthier. So this is not great. I've been trying to reduce the processed foods. But whatever. Let's try some granola. Let's see how that. I'll try not to chomp and smack too much in your ears. That's really good. I mean, I'm really not picky, so I'll probably say like all these are good. But yeah, these are tasty. Um, I've got Austin in the room here too. He's also moderating, but he's in the room helping out because he streams all the time. Shout out to Brave Fox Live. If you're on Twitch, you should definitely go follow Brave Fox Live. He is a fun streamer. He streams, edits photos, plays games. They do some movie critiquing and different things like that. So you want to watch a good person stream, go stream with Austin. That'll be a good one. While I'm munching on this granola, let's talk about this first comment. And I'll post it here in the chat so you got it, because it's a doozy. It's this last one that I just got. This is the most recent comment, so I figured it'd be fair to post this one up. But it says, I'm a meat eater, and I admit that I used to mock and belittle vegans, but now I see you guys as someone who's trying to save the planet, particularly the animals. So you're like, wow, this is going great, but it continues. No, that's not lies, Austin. I still eat meat, though. Okay. But that's just because I grew up eating meat, and it's something that is hard to let go for me still. As a meat eater, I admit that you guys have a point. Animals do have life. I don't know many people that would argue that. That is for dang sure. Animals do have life. And then they say they feel pain too. And they only want to be loved and cared for. They only want to play out in the nature like a normal living organism like us. Now, I kind of feel sad for the animals. Kinda. Look, first of all, like this person who commented this, Lascunha Kerr, like you're more honest than most people. So that's good, because most people would just come in and try to like fight right off the bat. So I think it's good that you're saying that you're honest with how you're feeling. But if you really get it, and you used to mock vegans and now you get why we're doing this, I get that it can be difficult to give up meat, but I think you should still do it. Almost all the vegans that I know, with the exception of literally like one, grew up eating meat. I grew up eating meat. I ate meat for 27 years. More animal products than most people probably. So most vegans are vegan now, but they weren't always vegan. So we all, we all went with the harder choice there in your eyes and decided to change, but do that. They feel pain too. They want to be loved and cared for. They only want to play out in nature. I mean, maybe. I don't know. There's some humans that probably don't want to play out in nature. Humans in general don't want to play out in nature. Humans want to be safe inside and not be tortured. So I would say, yeah, I don't know. Chris, sounds like a 13-year-old wrote that. Maybe. I mean, maybe they grew up eating meat for 13 years and now it's just too tough. They've really built those 13-year habits. Very possible. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think this person's going vegan? I think they stand a chance. I think they stand a chance of going vegan. Let's move on. Let me try another snack really quickly. But Lascunha Kerr, I'm sure I butchered your name, but go vegan. Look, if you're already getting the message, just make the jump. I'm going to try these. These are Dang sticky rice chips. That's the next snack in here. They're looking good. I've had the ones from them that are like sriracha. These are just coconut crunch, but they're pretty tasty. They're really tiny. They're these like tiny little nibbles of snacks, and they're really crunchy, and I love that. If you know me, I love chips. And Easy Breezy will tell you that, because I'm a savage when it comes to chips, and I love eating chips. So, yeah. Those are so good. If you have Dang chips next to you somewhere in the store, go get them. Oh, those are good. Even the sriracha ones have kind of a weird flavor. Those ones don't have any weird flavor. There's also this, it says do not eat, but I could try it. Thanks, Austin. Yeah, those are really good though. Gosh, those are good ones. Let's move on to this. So I pulled these comments. There's so many comments that I get on my Christian video, It's one of my most popular videos. It's got like 6,000 views on it. And I just get like so many comments on here. And honestly, it doesn't really matter if they're like in favor of veganism or not. A lot of the comments just kind of like make me worry about the human race. Humble brag. No, it's just the one that I get like a ton of comments on, but like over and over and over again, here's what the comments look like. And I'll post them in here. But here's what a lot of them sound like. Jesus ate fish in Luke 24, and some of the disciples were fisher of men. Does that go against the vegan lifestyle? Does that go against the thought of Christians being vegan? You would think that would be like, that's a pretty common thread here. I'll show you. But didn't Jesus eat fish? I want to go vegan, but I'm still thinking about that one verse. Okay. All right. Yeah, I gotcha. Beautiful, bro. Question. Yeshua provided fish and bread for thousands to eat. Why do you think he used fish and not something else that didn't die? Okay. All right. And why were animals killed as a sacrifice? These are all from different people. This is not from the same person. And I get questions like this all the time, especially on, again, like the Christian video, I think strikes a nerve with a lot of people. I tried to be like very soft in the delivery of that, and part of me regrets that. I plan on doing some follow-ups. If you help me out, if you're watching this and you know some pastors that are really knowledgeable about this topic, please send them my way. I'd love to have someone on for a stream or for a regular video. I had a few that I was talking to, and then like it kind of fell through with them actually coming on the channel. The connection never really happened. So if you happen to know someone that's knowledgeable about this and is still religious, please send them my way. I mean, here's the thing about the Bible or any religion. There is no religion that requires you to kill animals. Like, it's not a requirement in the Bible that you have to kill and eat animals in order to be a Christian. So because it's not a requirement, you can choose, what you want to do and what you think is the most moral choice. It's so funny because in a lot of these comments that I get, like, it's usually Christians that will come and kind of speak a little bit out of both sides of their mouths, because they'll come on and they'll say something like, oh, well, you're cherry picking verses. What about, this and this? But then all they'll do is put in like one verse that they've cherry picked, put no context whatsoever. And they do exactly what they're blaming me of doing. But it's weird because, like, if you haven't watched the Christian video, watch it in its entirety before you make the comment, because the video in itself as a whole, it explains the whole argument. And the argument is not hey, I found one verse that's about animals being treated well, so therefore you should be vegan. Like, it's about the totality of evidence of what the Bible talks about love and compassion. And it talks about specific verses, specific examples of a lot of different things. And it's an argument about what's most probable and what makes the most sense nowadays of what you should do as a Christian nowadays. If you try to take a look at any single verse in the Bible and you go, oh, well, Noah, ate animals or whatever, was given the right to eat animals, then sure, like, that's what the Bible says. Or you can go point to a part where Jesus ate fish, or try to find the part where Jesus multiplied fish and bread, and you can go, oh, well, that's where it talks about eating animals, so eating animals is okay, animal sacrifice, yada, yada, yada. You can go and point to any single verse. But really quickly, like, on the Jesus point, if you actually do some research, and I can post some resources down below, I also posted them on the Christian video, but on the Jesus part, there's only one verse where Jesus actually talks about multiplying, like, the fish and the bread, and he doesn't mention fish. He only says, in Matthew, I believe it is, where it's like, don't you remember when I multiplied all of the bread and fed thousands? He doesn't mention fish. And there's thoughts that because some of those books are towards the end of where they would have originally been written on their tablets or wherever they were, that would have been the easiest place to modify it. There's thoughts about fish not being really fish and about how it's just the symbolism of fish. Uh, Jesus was raised as an Essene Jew. And the Essene culture at the time, according to what history documents that we have, was vegetarian or vegan. And again, like Jesus was poor and his family was poor. They weren't rich. So if there was animal products being eaten, it probably wasn't a lot. Um, and then when you talk about Jesus multiplying fish and Jesus eating fish, Jesus like multiplying fish out of thin air that could already be dead has nothing to do with you supporting factory farm fish today. Has nothing to do with, it's not the same thing as us making so many animal products that we're destroying the entire planet. It has nothing to do with how many animal products that are being eaten that are causing our health to be destroyed and everything else. Like the one verse about Jesus creating magical fish out of thin air has nothing to do with that. And then people talk about the sacrifice of animals, but Jesus came and ended animal sacrifice. It's over. And the only time that they really would have been eating animals was when they sacrificed them to God or to the gods in the past. So if he ended animal sacrifice, you would think like makes sense. Again, I think the whole argument's in the video. Can you eat a magical fish? Maybe. If you can snap your fingers like Jesus and snap fish flesh out of the thin air without causing any suffering, that might be a thing. No mention of vaping in the Bible. How will I ever come to a decision on blowing colossal clouds? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like the Bible, what Jesus did 2,000 years ago is not what Jesus would probably do today in every single circumstance because it's different. The world is different. Jesus in the Bible doesn't talk about some of the problems that are on the internet nowadays. It doesn't talk about, trafficking, to my knowledge. It doesn't talk about, a lot of things like, I don't know, texts. Like it doesn't talk about any technology use and where we're buying our technology from and stuff. So because Jesus didn't use a cell phone, you don't use a cell phone, right? Like the whole message of the Bible is about love and compassion. And it's not just about love and compassion for other humans. It's about love and compassion for animals too. There's plenty of Bible verses that point to the love and compassion for animals as well. But the main thing is like, look, even if you don't care about the animals at all, and you're a Christian and you're deciding, should I be vegan or not? Well, the Bible does tell you that you should care about other human beings. And like it or not, the facts are there to support it that animal agriculture is destroying our planet. It is affecting humans negatively. So if you have the option 3 times a day, which you most likely do, especially if you're watching this stream, you live in modern society and you probably have the choice, and you can choose between causing more human suffering or less, which one would be the more Christian choice? And I'm going to venture to say that you would probably argue that less human suffering would be the more vegan choice or the more Christian choice. And that's exactly what living a vegan lifestyle would do. You don't need to even think about the humans because you can just think about the animals. You can think about Genesis. You can think about God's perfect vision for the planet, both in Genesis and in Isaiah, talking about end times and how that's how God planned it to be. Was no eating animals. The lion will lay with the lamb. It's all peaceful. Like, why would he want you to cause violence? It just doesn't make any sense. So like these comments that you come in and you just go like, but didn't Jesus eat fish? Want to go vegan, but I'm still thinking about that one verse. Well, that one verse doesn't do anything. Like any one verse doesn't really do anything. And if you really want to think about one verse, you should think about the verse where Jesus tells us what the second greatest commandment is of all time, which is to love thy neighbor as thyself. So if that's the second greatest commandment of all time, and you have a choice 3 times a day to do something that would cause your neighbor less harm and less suffering, then I think that you should choose that. So I think like with the Christian video, again, it's about the totality of the argument. It's not about just pointing to one verse and going, oh, this is why you should be vegan, or oh, this is why you can eat meat. There are places in the Bible where it says that you can eat meat. And this is like a good comment. Here's another one that came about for this. Oh, it's like really long. I can't post the whole thing. Let me post it in parts here, or at least post this first part, and then I'll just read the rest of it to you. So a really long comment. I'll just read the rest of it here. In Genesis 9:1-5, we read, God blessed Noach, who is Noah, and his sons, and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear that you dread of you will be upon every wild animal, every bird in the air, every creature on the earth. Populating on the ground, and all the fish in the sea, they have been handed over to you. Every moving thing that lives will be food for you. There it is. There it is. If you're just looking for like a sound bite, there it is. There's the Bible telling you that you can eat animals. You can take that one verse, you can put it completely out of context, and you can just use it for every circumstance ever. You know, I gave you, just as I gave you the green plants before, so now I give you everything. Only flesh with its life, which is its blood, you're not to eat. Will certainly demand an accounting for the blood of your lives. I will demand it from every animal and from every human being. Missed that one. Yep. I had no idea, even though I've read the entire Bible, even though I consulted multiple people before this, even though I lived as a Christian for like 25 years, I definitely had no idea about the one verse where it talks about Noah eating animals. Impossible. Yeah, like if you look into the original verbiage of what's translated, the things that Noah is given to eat is crawling creatures. It's not even like all animals. It's definitely not like pigs, cows, chickens. It's definitely not artificially bred cows, pigs, chickens. It's definitely not in the same context that it is today. It's also after the flood when there was apparently no other food around, if you believe that that story is 100% like historically accurate. And again, like it's just one verse that says, yeah, Noah, you can do this in this circumstance. And that's after the fall of man. Oh, vegan gays, have a good night if you're taking off. But yeah, that's after the fall of man. That's not what God intended for us to be. When God laid it out in Genesis and he said, this is the perfect vision for the world, he created the perfect world. It was for us to be eating plants and seeds. And that was the flesh for us that he gave us. The animals had the same breath of life that we had, and they were not to be eaten. And then after the fall of man, after we started sinning, then all of a sudden we're eating animals. But why wouldn't you want to live in alignment with the perfect vision that God laid out and that God says it would be? And why wouldn't you want to just be, again, a little bit more in alignment with that? Like there's no other, like there's no God saying you have to eat animals. So you have the choice. So why not cause less harm? Why not cause less suffering? Like, and if Jesus was here today and he could choose animal agriculture and factory farm meat where animals are kept in terrible conditions and they're, they are artificially inseminated and they are bred and they are kept in all the, like I said, these terrible conditions. And then also that is causing the destruction of our environment. That's also causing humans to suffer and everything like that. But he could just choose like some produce. He could just eat an apple instead, or he could have some mock meat or tofu or something instead. What you're really thinking that Jesus would choose to kill the animal, like, and to kill the living being and eat that instead, causing all of that suffering, all that destruction. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So, man, I get so many comments on that Christian video. I really want to do several follow-ups to it. Some of this maybe going into more detail with some other verses and layout, because people were really upset that I didn't include the verses that talk about eating animals. And it wasn't a video about like, here's everything that is said about eating animals and not eating animals. In the video, I talk about like, there are verses that say this, and blah, 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 but I didn't go into detail of that. But maybe I will for a future video. Let me know if that's something that you want. And then I definitely want to pull in some pastors and talk to them. The thing is, like, talking to Christians about this a lot, because there's a lot of Christians where I live and I'm friends with a lot of them. No one's ever had an argument against anything that I've said. They've gone, yeah, that makes sense. and a lot of them have changed their habits because of it. Like, so you can be a vegan, you can be a Christian at the same time. They're not synonymous and they're not against each other. So there's tons of vegan Christians. Most of the Seventh Day Adventists that are vegan, they're obviously all vegan Christians because they're Seventh Day Adventists. So make me content. I need the content, says Austin. Okay, Austin, I will make the content. I'm so excited to be back and making content, but I'm also excited to try another thing. Oh no, there's another drink in here. What are the chances that it's good? Oh gosh. This is Rise Nitro Brewing Company Oat Milk Mocha Nitro Cold Brew Coffee, dairy free. I've never heard of this brand. I've never had it. Clean energy. Yeah, yeah. I need that clean energy. I have a hot cup of coffee right here. Should I go crazy? Like, should I just drink a crazy amount of caffeine and never go to sleep tonight? Should I stream all night? Easy Breezy says drink both. Let's do it. Let's see. When does this expire? Because if it expired, I'll definitely drink it. Oh yeah, it's expired. It's best by 5/2 of 2021. What month is it? It's July. So it's 2 months expired? Oh god, this is gonna be gross. Hi, I'm Walter. Welcome to Jackass. Oh, geez. I don't know if you heard that, but wow. I thought it was gonna spray everywhere there for a second. What are the chances that this is actually bad? Because let me tell you, it traveled through the mail to Arizona where I live, and Arizona is hot as hell. So it was probably like very, very warm in the truck and very disgusting. And then it sat on a shelf for a few months. So the chances that this is just try it. No, I'm stalling, Easy Breezy. I don't want to try it. Okay, I'm going to give it a shot. Oh, sorry to disappoint you guys. It's not disgusting at all. It's really good. So maybe it stayed good. Maybe their best by date was a lie. Yeah, it actually tastes really good. Rise Nitro Brewing Oat Milk Mocha. I mean, this doesn't taste very much like a lot of coffee. So it's like nitro cold brew. I don't really get like a very like strong like coffee flavor from it. It's mostly, I feel like I'm just drinking chocolate milk. This also says serve cold. Joke's on you. I'll serve it warm after sitting for months in hot trucks. Yeah, that's good. I'll drink the whole thing. I promise to drink this whole thing on this. Have you tried vegan truffle butter? No, I've had truffle oil on like fries and things like that, but not any like vegan truffle butter products or anything like that. So, no. Maybe do I need to? Have you tried it and is it really good? Let me know if it's good. If it's really good, then let me know what I should get and I'll do it. But yeah, I'll drink this whole thing, and then if I get violently ill because it actually is bad, I'll make a post about it and let you guys know. But that's a good one. Even if it's bad, it tastes really good. So there you go. The yak is about to yak. A vegan yuck. Vegan yuck, yeah, disgusting. Shout out to Daniel. Daniel, I wouldn't be at 1,000 subscribers without you sharing the content so much. So I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for sharing the content all the time. I appreciate that. And while we're at it, let's give a shout out to Easy Breezy Vegan. If you haven't subscribed to Easy Breezy Vegan yet, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You're probably messing it up terribly and you're missing out on good content. If you like my content, you're going to like Easy Breezy Vegan because most of it's funnier than me and she's better looking and you don't have to argue with me as much or with Easy Breezy Vegan. You can go and just enjoy content because she creates good content. That's a lot about lifestyle vegan stuff and it'll help you out go vegan. So go give her a follow. Go give her a subscribe. I need a good vegan girl. Any recommendations? No. No, I don't have any good recommendations for vegan girls that I know of. Sorry. I wish I did. Let's go to this next comment. Charlie T, about 7 months ago. Sorry I didn't get to respond to you, Charlie T, but you said you don't make friends with salad. I mean, okay. I don't know that I've ever tried to make friends with any food, but I've definitely never tried to make friends with salad. So you don't make friends with salad. I would love to hear what Vegan Gaze says about that, but she's not around. Maybe you make friends with salads. I'm not sure. But is this vegan ASMR? No, not quite. That's a bold-faced lie. Salad, salad. Yeah. You can make love to a salad. You could. You could. I mean, make friends with a salad. You're right, right, right. Good cover up. Good cover up for sure. I think you could make friends with a salad. I don't think you know how to make a good salad. I have salads all the time. I've recently been eating salad every single day, and like every salad that I make is good, or every salad mostly that Brianna makes because she makes most of the food and she's a great chef. So I think if you haven't made any friends with the salads that you're serving, you might just need to learn how to toss a salad. You know what I'm saying? Um, Austin, don't laugh too hard at stuff over here. You're gonna make me crack on the joke. Okay. I understand why vegans. Okay, here's another one. I understand why vegans protect animals, but that doesn't give them the right to judge other people that they eat. Oh, judge. I was like, wait, what? To judge other people what they eat. Um, like that's I mean, I hate sentences like this. Like and I hate sentences like this because it's just such a weird thing to claim. Like, it doesn't give you the right to judge other people just because you want to protect animals. Like, if I just replace animals with humans, I'll sound ridiculous. I'll just sound totally absurd. Or if I replace the word animals with animals that you actually like and care about, I'll sound absurd to you. Like, I understand why humans want to protect other humans, but that doesn't give them the right to judge other people what they eat. You know, if you want to eat humans, like, and kill them, then like that doesn't give you the right to judge me. Like, you can replace this sentence with basically like anything that you think is morally wrong, you know, and you'll sound absolutely absurd. Like, and again, like if it's an animal that you do care about, like dogs, cats, dolphins, whales, whatever animal that you do care about, and you said, I understand that, you know, why vegans want to protect dogs, but that doesn't give them the right to judge other people when they just want to eat dogs. Like, what? Like, that, no, that just doesn't make any sense. Um, God created living things according to their respective nature of evolution. Some eat only meat, some only plants. Okay, what happens in nature and what happens of what animals have evolved into has everything to do actually with who you are because you've evolved into a human that has moral agency. And other animals don't have that. Like a lion that's out in the wild can kill other animals and eat them, and it probably doesn't feel very bad about it. Maybe it does, I don't know. But to our knowledge, like lions don't have moral agency, but you do. Like you do know what you're doing. You do know the consequences of your actions, and you also have a choice because you've evolved as a human that can eat an entirely plant-based diet. So as we're talking just about like diets here, you can choose to just eat plants. So God, if you believe in God in this sentence that you're saying, God created living things, so he created you according to the respective nature of evolution. Well, he created you to eat only plants. You can do that. So why not do that if you have the moral agency and you do have animals to care about? So, well, eating humans cause insanity. Prove it, Jim. I've been eating humans for years. I'm totally sane. Um, Eating animals causes heart disease. Yeah. You know, there's obviously a lot of debate. I'm not a doctor, you know, so there's a lot of debate on certain research and stuff. But certainly what we can say is the people that eat the fewest animal products certainly seem to have protection against ischemic heart disease, you know, Alzheimer's, certain forms of cancer, diabetes. And that's what the statement from the dietitian statement says from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietitians or Dietetics, which is the largest organization on the entire planet. And they base that decision off of research to post that statement. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional, but the professionals and the science is certainly in the favor of the health benefits of eating a plant-based diet. Which again, look, veganism's not a diet. Like, oh, I'm making the next video that I'm making is about this, so I'll save some of it. But ultimately, like, veganism is not a diet. Veganism is a way of life of trying to reduce harm and suffering to animals as far as is practical and possible. That means even in theory, like vegans are not tied to a plant-based diet. Now, the research doesn't show this, but let's say that the research did show that eating some animal out there or whatever gave you all of your calories forever, right? This is obviously not the case. But if you could eat one animal and then never have to eat ever again, you'd probably cause less animal suffering than a traditional plant-based diet. So in that case, the most vegan decision would probably be to cause one harm for the greater good or something, because you'd probably be giving up. You'd have to get a little bit deeper into philosophy of what you really believe there for morality. But like, vegans aren't tied to anything specific. Anything that you find out that causes less animal harm and suffering, that's what a vegan would choose, because their whole goal is to reduce animal suffering as far as is possible and practical. And that doesn't just have to do with your diet. So that's the other part about things like this, is like somebody will come in and talk about, their creation, their nature of how they have to eat animals. But that doesn't excuse you from other things. If you have the moral agency to protect animals, but you really believe that you can't survive without them, eating them, then I would say, one, go like look at the research there and stuff too, so you can figure out that you can just eat plants. But that doesn't excuse you on every other front. What about going to zoos? What about going to aquariums? What about going to circuses? What about killing animals for their skins that you don't need? Like, so just because you're saying, oh, I've been raised to eat animals, does that also give you the right to go and watch them for entertainment, and they get to be locked up in cages and beat and everything like that just for you to be entertained? Like, and no one has ever come to me, not a single person has ever come to me and gone, look, I really believe that I was like evolved to eat humans, or I believe that it's healthy, or to eat humans, or I believe it's healthy to eat animals. So I do eat a small amount of animals for certain nutrients that I believe I can only get, blah, blah, blah. I've done all this research, yada, yada. But what I do is I do avoid zoos. I avoid leather. I avoid, circuses, and I avoid all these other things. I buy all these other products. Like, no one has ever come to me and said that they are trying so hard in every single way, but they can't just give up this one like product. They always do the opposite, where they say, oh, you know what? I was raised to eat animals, so therefore I'm going to eat them and exploit them for entertainment, and exploit them for their clothes, and exploit them for animal testing, for my cosmetics, and for my, whatever else, whether cleaning products or whatever else that you buy. So it's like, look, just it's about just doing what you can. That's the best that you can. There's no such thing as a perfect vegan. We all still cause animal suffering in our life through a variety of different ways. The goal is to try to figure out how to cause the least amount of suffering. And if you also care about other like animals like humans, then you should try to figure out how to do that with them too. Like, it's just like, I'll do more in the next video for it, but let's read some comments. Zoos made me like. Oh, made you like animals. That's true. Yeah, zoos made me like animals. Yeah, I love that one meme that I think goes around from time to time, where it's like, when I was a kid, I love zoos because I love animals, and as an adult, I hate zoos because I love animals. There's so many ways to learn about animals and to learn to love animals, and it's not just zoos as a kid. You're talking about everything as a kid, like your books, your rooms, your stuffed animals, your toys. Like, there's so many things that are about animals. And with technology advancing, there's just going to be more and more ways. There's virtual aquariums, and there's all this stuff where you're going to be able to really learn about animals without exploiting them. And you'll learn to love them without, them being stuck in zoos. What about owning pets? That's a good one. I haven't made a pet video yet. That is on the docket. So yeah, definitely on the docket there. If you're trying to avoid animal cruelty in all forms, then you should be avoiding, especially buying pets from like breeders and stores that run like from puppy mills and stuff like that, because the only way that we have some of the pets that we have nowadays is because they've been selectively bred over time. And unfortunately, in all these places, these animals are put into really terrible conditions. And just like the animal agriculture industry for food, if you're buying animals there, you're supporting, and your dollars are going towards these animals being kept in terrible conditions. Well, if you buy puppies from like puppy mills, then you're going to continue to support that as well. You're voting with your dollar to support the animal abuse. So ideally, you would be avoiding that. Rescuing animals would be great. But if you're rescuing animals and then you don't, you have them spayed or neutered, and you don't breed them, then eventually we won't have pets. And that's where I would probably sit, is eventually that we really shouldn't have at least at the scale that we have, we shouldn't have companion animals. The companion animals that we should have should be rescued. And really, that would never be pets in the future because, like, most people that are just living their normal lives are not going to like rescue a wolf or a dolphin that's hurt in the wild. Like, it's going to go to a sanctuary, and that's really where the animals should be, is in like some rehabilitation place or a sanctuary of some sort. So really, yeah, humans, I mean, we shouldn't be owning pets. We should have never, trapped animals and bred them to fit our needs of what looks cute. So yeah, that's what I would say about pets. I'll go in more detail in a video if you would like. It is on the docket. Some zoos, like the Bronx Zoo, are actually conservatories. Like, it's tough because like there are zoos that do more than others when it comes to like getting animals rehabilitated, actually, or they do more in the terms of like trying to help animals. But on the flip side, they are still profiting off of animals for entertainment. People come to watch the animals with their eyes and they pay them for that. And then there's people making money off of that. So it's like, if we really wanted to turn all of these zoos into actual sanctuaries, and then people came and volunteered or whatever it was, like I volunteer at a pig sanctuary, or I'm sorry, I haven't volunteered there yet. I'm planning on volunteering there, but I have gone and visited there, and like visiting there and donating there and stuff like that. But their whole job is to actually rescue pigs and take care of them. They're not a zoo. They're not a petting zoo. That's not their thing. They're nothing about getting them for entertainment. So yeah. And the Bronx Zoo does reintroduce to the wild. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like one of those things where you've got to try to figure out what's going to be the best for the animals. If you're a vegan, you're trying to avoid animal suffering. We need places to care about animals that are hurt in the wild and stuff if you want to reduce animal suffering, and inevitably they're going to have to be taken care of. Some of them can't be rehabilitated. So if you care about like the lions that couldn't be, or the dolphins that couldn't be rehabilitated or something, they're going to have to go somewhere. But it doesn't need to be a place where they're going to be exploited for entertainment. No. So yeah, let's see here. Sunny Shine, have you been to a factory farm or a slaughterhouse? Okay, at Austin, which is why clean and cook it to remove the blood, raw versus cooked meat. I missed a comment here, it seems like. So Austin, no, eating meat is not animal abuse because the blood has left the body. No, like there's eating meat and putting meat into your mouth in itself is not animal abuse. Like, you could go find roadkill, and if you put it into your mouth, you wouldn't be causing an animal to suffer. Now, you may be normalizing animal suffering. This came up on a stream that I was on with Peace with Reese. Shout out to him. Go subscribe to Peace with Reese. But no, the act of literally putting something into your mouth does not cause harm. I could put human flesh into my mouth and it wouldn't cause a human harm. It's before that, it's the steps before that where the animal was kept in a cage and slaughtered and killed. That's causing harm. And then it's all the other parts about when you do put it into your mouth that's causing harm to your own body, or at scale that we're doing is causing harm to our environment, which causes harm to every single animal, humans included. So no, it's still causing harm. It's just, it seems to be that like you're hung up on like the blood leaving the body is not animal abuse anymore, but that's not the part that's causing harm, is when you're eating it. So let's see here. Best thing that you can do for a fraction of a video you already made. Okay. Yeah, make that video. Also, just yeah. Chris, you're so hung up on that highlight video from the hour-long interview. That's still going to happen. You just avoid those ones, Chris. If there's videos that I make that are really long, I might pull something out of it. I might pull something out of this stream and post something if I think there was a really good point that was made or something that we discussed, because the likeliness that somebody's going to come through and watch, hours of a stream or an hour and a half in a stream, however long we go for, is unlikely. But there might be a good point in there that needs to be made. And if I can't flesh that into a whole video, but I can just make a quick point out of it, then I'll do that. The Bronx Zoo isn't all zoos, and instead of being kept in cages, animals that need the help can be kept on sanctuaries where they're able to roam somewhat freely. Yeah, definitely. Definitely true. Yeah, join us on Discord. I just started the Discord, so I would love for you to hop in there and to be able to join us in the conversations and join all the little sub chats in there. I'm newer to Discord, but I would love to be more involved in there. Like the whole goal of Vegan Yak is to talk about veganism freely and to be able to get the message out there in a positive way. And originally, the channel, like when I launched and started being active right before COVID, the whole goal was actually to be doing more live conversations, both through stream and through live conversations on the street and doing more street activism like I was doing before. But then, of course, COVID, destroyed that idea because no one was out on the streets. But the whole point is to be yakking, talking about veganism, and I think Discord lends itself to that very well. So join us on Discord because I would love to build that community up so there's more conversations happening about veganism in hopefully a very positive way. Um, Veganism is the baseline. It's the very least that we can do. 40-year-old vegan. Yeah, definitely. Like it's especially I mean depending on where you live, absolutely. Like anybody that's watching this stream living in a first world country, like veganism is so easy nowadays. Like it is absolutely the least that you could do. You could go and actually volunteer. You could be an activist. You could go save animals. You could run a sanctuary. There's so many more things that you could do to actually help animals and to reduce their suffering on the planet. Just choosing to not eat them is like the least that you can do. Just choosing to not wear their skin is like the least. All you're doing is just choosing chickpeas instead of chicken at the store. Like you're just making another choice. It is absolutely the least that we can do. Agreed. Genesis 9 explains meat if you read the full text. Yeah. Yeah, I touched on this already. I think like go watch the Christian video and I'll make some more follow-ups to that. I don't want to have this whole stream just to be about Christian topic, but like yeah, I mean ultimately like after the fall of man when people are eating meat and doing that like it just doesn't even matter. What's more in alignment with what a Christian should be doing today? Causing more human suffering or less? Causing more environmental destruction and destroying God's work or less? Causing destruction to God's creations through animals and stuff or less? Like more harm or less harm to humans, animals, people, like the planet, everything. Like just less. Like, and nothing is going to destroy that argument. No verse that you find in the Bible is going to destroy that argument because if Jesus said the second greatest commandment was to care about humans and you can cause less suffering to other humans by living a vegan lifestyle, then you should do that. Period. Like there's nothing that you're going to change about it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you said new. You're still stuck on this, man. I'm not. No, I don't think I did say new video actually. But and posted that monstrosity of a failure. No, it was a success. Chris, you're crazy. I can't believe you're stuck on that still. Chris, I need to have you on too. We keep talking about it. Yeah, we keep talking about it, and I really want to set up like an actual interview. And now that we're like being able to return to in person and things and stuff like that, let's make that happen. I'm sure you would provide a good interview. So let's do it. Gotta put out content for everyone though. Yeah, everyone. Don't get derailed and start arguing about this clips and highlights versus not showing highlights. The U.S. demand for chickpeas was starving certain countries for a bit, so we do need a balance. Yeah. I mean, we shouldn't all just switch to entirely chickpea diets. Thankfully, there's like 80,000 edible plant species. Although that number, like, there's numbers that get thrown around all the time that are way lower and way higher, but that seems to be the one that is used the most. So, we have plenty of plants to eat. So a vegan diet or a vegan lifestyle, again, does not tie you to any specific food. You don't have to eat avocados from Mexican cartel in order to be a vegan. You don't have to eat quinoa from Peru or Bolivia or anything like that. You don't have to eat chickpeas if it's causing problems. Like we avoid cashews or try to find fair trade cashews because cashews end up burning human hands. It has nothing to do with the animals, but it still causes suffering. So we try to avoid that. But you're not tied to any one of those foods. You don't have to eat one specific food in order to be a vegan. Veganism is not a diet. You'll go out of business if you ever have me on. Well, Chris, I don't have to post the video. I won't do a live stream. I'll record it, and if you go too crazy, then we won't post it, and I'll just have it for my own personal entertainment. We want the least amount of harm possible, though. Yeah, easy breezy, we do. and vegans are not the only people buying chickpeas. Yeah, that's the argument that people use all the time when they talk about avocado and all this sort of stuff. But like, vegan diets don't replace all of their calories with avocados. Like, most people that are eating avocados are not vegans. Like, so if we're driving up some sort of slave trade or cartel business or whatever from avocados, that's mostly not from vegans. And if the whole world went vegan, it wouldn't mean there would be all of a sudden this drastic increase, because I have not started eating more avocados now as a vegan than I did before. I still ate avocados before too. Again, you don't need any one specific food. Veganism's not a diet. It's a philosophy about trying to reduce harm. So if you can just try to reduce the harm, then and choose the best that you can on the foods. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't research what plant foods are causing harm and stuff. You should. If you find out that one is causing harm, then yeah, try to do your best. Try to, find things that are locally sourced, or do some gardening yourself. Do whatever you can to try to do your best. But yeah, I have about one avocado a month, if that. Yeah, I don't know how many I have. I wasn't saying that vegans were, just pointing out that how the U.S. demand for healthy food trends to screw over the rest of the world. Yeah, pretty much everything that the U.S. does like screws over the rest of the world. And let's not be let's not be crazy here. We live in a capitalist society, and there's like just going to be some harm caused from the purchases that we make. It's one of the reasons that I want to try to live as much of a minimalist lifestyle as possible, and that's not just a vegan thing. That's like, we buy electronics that cause harm to other humans. Has nothing to do with animals. That's not a vegan point or anything like that. But if we can figure out how to mine those things more ethically and try to avoid, using things and just constantly buy, purchase, then we can reduce those things too. So yeah, it's not just a vegan thing that we need to worry about either. We have a whole capitalist thing and the world is constantly using all of its resources up problem. But when it comes to what's using the most resources, especially the ones that we can't replace, like land and water and our air, animal agriculture is definitely the worst contributor to that problem. So let's get out of it. Jesus would be against the slaughterhouse workers suffering. Yeah, he would. He would be against the PTSD that slaughterhouse workers get from working, or their higher rates of domestic violence and other violent crimes and suicide. People that argue this point a lot, like, they don't understand the impact that animal agriculture has on human beings or on our land or anything like that. So they just think like, oh, it's just an animal that dies. That's it. There's no other thing that happens. But that's not what happens. I still have to drink the rest of this. It's still good. I don't know if it's actually good and not spoiled, but it still tastes good. So that's something. It's amazing how hard it is to drink this tiny can. I feel like I should be done with this by now. Ew, you're a minimalist. Trying to be. I cause so much more harm than many people on this planet through purchases, and I'm not like the best all the time. Like, I'm far from perfect. If you've seen my last couple of videos about me being a hypocrite and about me being veganism not being perfect and stuff like that, you'll understand like I'm not. No vegan is. Again, there's no such thing as a perfect vegan. So that's not what it's about. You don't need to be perfect in order to minimize or reduce your harm and suffering. And there's plenty of ways to do that. But again, the biggest one that you can do for animals and humans alike would be reducing animal agriculture for your diet and eating a plant-based diet. Do not try to keep me up super late. What is this, a paid product placement? Oh, for Rise. Yeah, it is. You should get this. Unless it's only good when it's spoiled. God, then don't get it. Shine 45. I worked as a federal ag inspector and saw many horrific things, just trying to change hearts and minds. Yeah, 40-year-old vegan. God, we got to have you on too. We need to get you on here. I would love to tell your story on the channel. I think it would be super impactful. So let's connect whenever you're not busy. If you're not busy, let's connect. Let's do it. Let me get to another comment here. Some guy said a week ago, that's his name. That's not, it's just some guy. Some guy, your channel really deserves more subscribers and views. Great video. That's a reminder right there. That is a paid product placement for my channel. So go subscribe if you haven't already. hit that little button. Hit the like button if you haven't done it either. Leave more comments. Chat it up. Go watch the other videos. Suck up says Easy Breezy Vegan. Who's a suck up? That's some guy. Some guy is a suck up, and I love it. Thanks, some guy. I don't know if you're on the chat right now, but if you watch this back, thank you. Thank you, some guy. Okay, this one is from, well, I don't know how you say this, or if you are supposed to, Wolof 25. This person's constantly posting in everybody's channels a bunch of stuff that's anti-vegan stuff. Sometimes makes interesting points. That's what I love about the people that take it seriously. I mean, they're detrimental to the greater good, I feel like, but I love that they at least bring up interesting points that make me think. Like at the end of the day, it's so funny how many people like forget the fact that again, I wasn't vegan my whole life. I lived 27 years before I became vegan. I ate animal products. I wore leather. I did all of it. I caused more harm than probably most people did because I ate a lot of animals. But they like they think that you're like so close-minded all of a sudden, and it's like, but we're the people that have already changed and oftentimes changed so much about our lifestyle. So I'm not closed-minded. If you bring up a good point and somehow debunk veganism as a philosophy, then bring it on. I'd love to hear it. I don't think you will, because I don't think anything's going to debunk the idea that we should cause less harm. So unless you're going to bring forward something that convinces me that we should cause more harm, all you would potentially do is convince me that there's some other way to cause less harm. So the internet leaving hateful comments. I'm shocked. Yeah. They're not always hateful. So many of them are. I delete a lot of the ones that are just like stupid, because there's ones that'll come on and be like, oh, I bet you'd have hair. I'm bald if you don't know. I'm bald up top here. And like, they'll be like, I bet you would have hair if you ate some meat and stuff. That's like, if you have a legitimate comment that raises a question or something, I'll leave it, even if it's needs to be debunked, or if it's not a good point in theory, but at least you're like trying to actually have some sort of conversation or make some sort of coherent point. I'll leave it up. The other hateful ones I'll just try to take down. Also, I went bald before I went vegan, so that would be a really terrible argument. Also, I know a lot of bald people that eat meat, so what's up with them? But this comment from Wolof25. You are also ignoring the glaring issue of supply and demand. If you buy vegan stuff from non-vegan producers, the money you gave will go into the pockets of the owners, and they can use that money for non-vegan purposes. Like, we talked about this on the stream with Peace with Reese. So again, shout out there, go talk to that. But that's not how supply and demand works, at least not in the long term, because there wouldn't be money to do the thing you're talking about. So as a good example, if Target only produced red shirts and then no one bought red shirts, and then Target released one green shirt, Target could go use that money from the green shirt to go make more red shirts. But if they keep doing that, they'll go out of business because no one's buying the red shirts. You say that I'm ignoring the glaring issue of supply and demand, but I think I'd have to turn it around and go, you're ignoring the glaring issue of supply and demand. If nobody goes and buys the red shirts, eventually Target will produce more green shirts and more green shirts and more green shirts until they realize, hey, you know what? People don't want red shirts. Which they'd be fools if they don't want red shirts, because red's the best color. But like, so that's how supply and demand works. Now, it might take time. And especially when we're talking about trillion-dollar, industries and stuff like that, where we're talking about all this money and all these habits where people are coming in and just now starting to make more major changes. Like, yes, there's so many more vegans today than there was 3 years ago. The movement is growing faster than ever, and that's fantastic. There's more and more plant-based products coming out. But if you really think that these companies are taking the money from the plant-based products and then going and using to kill more animals, and that's going to sustain for any period of time, you're just crazy, because if more and more people keep eating more and more plants, they're going to keep producing more and more plant-based foods. Now, slaughter numbers have continued to rise, even with the increase of veganism. That's what the most recent studies show. So it hasn't completely flipped the numbers, but there's also growing population. There's also the growing meat demand in higher populated areas like Asia. So as their meat intake increases, that's not going to have, veganism is not going to flip that entirely right away. But again, that's just not how supply and demand works. If you go and you buy a bunch of plant-based products, they're going to take that money and they're going to eventually keep making plant-based products, because that's what the demand is for. It's supply and demand, not demand and supply. The argument is reversed. Supply and demand. No, it's not. Like I think if I'm understanding you correctly, and maybe you're just agreeing with me, but like the supply part and then the demand and not demand. I just want to make sure that I understand you correctly. And demand, not demand and supply. The argument is reversed. No, I mean you're technically accurate that of course, yeah, the animal has to be killed and supplied before it is someone goes to the store. So again, like if tomorrow, let's say everyone started being vegan, and no one was going to buy any animal products, there would still be animals that would die for probably some time in the animal agriculture industry, and they'd keep producing it and put it on shelves. Maybe it'd only be for days until they realized no one was buying it. Maybe it would take weeks. Maybe it would take months. But eventually, they would run out of the money that it takes to raise animals and kill animals because no one would be giving them any money anymore. So yeah, technically it gets supplied out there and then someone goes and buys it. But if we take away their power, we vote with our dollars and we go, we're only going to buy X products that don't contain these things anymore. It will change. I mean, that's the same thing with smoking and everything else too. Like it changes over time, but it's not an overnight thing. It took 7,000 studies for the Surgeon General to come out and say that smoking caused cancer. And then right after that, it wasn't like the next day everyone stopped smoking. We still have people that smoke. So it takes time. And most likely there will always be people killing animals for food, or at least for a lot longer than we would like, because there's going to probably be black markets that will pop up and stuff, and all this sort of stuff. Even when it's mainstream, it goes away. Even when we take away subsidies and we start putting it towards plant products instead of animal agriculture, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, look at all the plant milks in the store now. Yeah, the first industry to go is dairy, specifically milk. Milk is already in trouble and has had a lot of trouble with other reasons, especially in the US with like tariffs in the past and stuff. But yeah, if you take a look at the numbers, it's not looking good for the dairy industry and they keep getting bailed out, but eventually that will go away and so will the subsidies. And if you take a look 20, 30 years ago, there was probably only like soy milk and rice milk or a couple of milks in the store. And now there's soy milk, rice milk, cashew milk, almond milk, coconut milk, pea milk, and the list goes on and on. So times change. And the products in the store will change too. Yeah, cigarette sales went down, but vape products just replaced it. Not for some time. I think vape. I don't know enough about how many people vape in the today's society. So, and obviously that wasn't an immediate thing either. It wasn't like smoking went down and immediately vape took over or something. I don't think that's the case. If you have research there, send it to me. I'd love it. It has nothing to do with this, but I'd still like to know. Everyone can't go vegan yet, which is why I'm saying to improve or update it. To improve or update what? To improve or update it. Everyone can't go vegan yet. No, everyone can't go vegan yet, but most people can. And most likely you can if you're not. I mean, again, if you're living in a first world country and you already go to a grocery store to buy your food, you can be vegan. Like, period. All the other excuses about cost and everything else don't actually play out. Vegan diets save money in the long run if you go whole food plant-based, or if you go anywhere near that. As more plant-based products will come out, then the prices of those will go down as well. Like, there are people that can't go vegan today, but they're the ones that aren't going to be watching this stream and don't even have that choice because they're living in a tribe somewhere, or they're living in some crazy food desert or whatever it is. But most people, especially in the modern world, can go vegan. Oh, you're saying we should improve living conditions in factory farms. That's impossible. I love that people bring this up, but it's impossible. We're already tapped out on like resources and stuff. You know, animal agriculture uses like up to like 45% of our ice-free land. If we gave every cow a bunch of space to roam around, we'd use all of our land. You'd have to flatten cities. Like you can't, the most efficient way to feed 8 billion people animals is factory farms. Like, so if people are going to eat animals, you can't improve their conditions. You can't do it. It's not possible. Not with feeding 8 billion people the amount of animals that they eat now. It's a matter of fact that animal consumption will reduce, or it will be replaced by fake meat, like lab meat or something else. It can't continue on the way that it's going now. It's impossible. We don't have the resources. Not impossible. Just add to it. What land? Were you talking about raising them on Mars or something? That's not possible either. NASA already said all space food will be plant based. Damn it. Um, yeah. No, like you can't. You just you. It is impossible. Like you can't. If you keep adding factory farms, you can produce more meat, but um, that's not going to improve their living conditions. And again, it doesn't really matter. Like, imagine that I said that about humans. Like, we don't need to. We could stop killing them. Yeah, most people could be vegan. We could just stop killing humans and stop eating them and stuff. But we could just improve their living conditions. Like, no, we don't need to raise them and keep them in cages at all. We don't even need to raise them and breed them. Like, how do they get onto these nice farms? It's through terrible conditions of artificial insemination and everything. It's just like, it doesn't matter how nice we treat them. Like, haha, NASA for vegans. Yeah, we did need that. Um, yeah, like, yeah, add more stuns. No, stunning is ineffective. As you can see from videos and studies and all of the testimonials from slaughterhouse workers and everything like that. And it doesn't matter. Again, like, should I add more stuns to the human farm that I have? Like, that doesn't, it doesn't matter. Like, you wouldn't say that. And you wouldn't say that about animals that you probably care about either. Like, you wouldn't say that probably about dogs or cats or, anything else. Like, oh, we can just kill them better. We can treat them a little bit nicer and give them a nice life and then kill them. If we're treating them nice, it's even worse probably to end their life because they're living a great life. And you should go watch my pig video about what they do to pigs, because like the most humane way of killing pigs and the most often used is pigs in gas chambers. And they go down there and that's how they are put out, not with stuns, but with gas chambers. And you can watch it. It's very unpleasant. It's not humane at all. So raise the stun water levels. No, again, like you're trying to do the wrong thing the right way. And I appreciate where you're coming from. Like, but all you're doing is trying to argue to give animals a good life. And if you want to do that, just stop eating them. Like, I love your mentality, because your mentality is all about trying to not hurt animals. But you can just do that by being vegan. You can just live a vegan lifestyle, eat a plant-based diet. Like, so if you really care about animals, just do that. You don't need to invent all these like magical ways of trying to treat them correctly. You don't need to try to do the wrong thing the right way. Let's continue on. I didn't even finish this comment. Let's continue on here. Not to mention, we got sidetracked with the supply and demand. For an example, they may use that money to invest into another non-vegan bullishness, which have no vegan products. Yeah. But again, with time, that all changes. It doesn't matter. Not to mention that you're just talking about mainstreaming vegan option. That itself is not going to change people to be vegan. No, I think it does, because like the convenience factor, and this is what we talked about on the stream with Peace with Reese too, is like the convenience factor for people is so big. Like, it's so many times what people say is like, oh, it's just so hard to be vegan. It's so tough. I couldn't possibly go vegan, but you can. But especially if it was so easy and it was so normalized. So all these mainstream options really do help with that. So even though I don't really love Burger King, I love that Burger King has an Impossible Whopper. I don't love Nestle, but I love that they have a vegan Kit Kat. Like, the more normalized it becomes and the more accessible it becomes to everybody, the less excuses we have, which will help people go vegan because it will be easier. And then we'll have less excuses, like Sunnyshine, where you're saying like not everyone can go vegan. Well, if it's mainstream and it's everywhere and it's all plant-based products, then we can. So I don't agree with that. Wolof 25. In the best case scenario, that can lead to reducitarianism. Veganism is reducitarianism. It's just more defined. Like, veganism is not elimination. It doesn't eliminate all animal suffering across the whole planet. It'd be pretty hard to near impossible to do that. So it is reducitarianism. It just has some clearly defined lines because you're taking away the intent. and you're trying to reduce the harm and suffering. People and company owners are not going to become ethical vegans and commit to it just because there are more vegan options. Actually, that does happen all the time. You might not know about it because it's not always the mainstream story that's being shared by the media, but there are people all the time, like even I think it's the CEO of like a grocery chain or something, or was it Tesco or someone? I can't remember what it was, but oh no, it was Greg's, I think it is. The CEO of Greg's like started offering sausage rolls and everything like that. Started to take off more and more vegan products, and then became a vegan themselves. It does, like, so many people enter veganism through so many different ways and figure out what's going on to animals on this planet and enter in so many different ways, that yeah, uh, that does happen all the time. So that's just factually inaccurate. Um, but also imagine this. Imagine you're going to go to your local marketplace to buy some homemade veggies, and you buy it from the one guy who isn't vegan. The portion of the money he earns from you goes directly to buy animal feed so he could grow animals and slaughter them later. You knowing that and still filling his pockets would be enabling him to slaughter animals. This is far more complex than what you vegans are presenting it to be. Yeah, but you're talking about like all of these consequences down the chain that will go away if everybody was vegan. Like, so it is complex in the sense that, like, no vegan is saying, hey, if you just go vegan tomorrow, no animals will ever be killed again. That would be a really simple statement, but that's not what the statement is. The statement is we should continue to move in this way and reduce our harm and suffering to animals as far as possible and practical. And the things that you're talking about wouldn't exist in a vegan world. Like, he wouldn't take that money and go and decide to do something like that unless he was doing it on the black market or something. But again, you could be buying from a company that is marketed as a completely ethical company, and it could be great and all this sort of stuff, but you could find out that owner takes that money and traffics children or does something really awful and terrible like that. Well, you're supporting that. And I could just go, well, it's so much more complex, so therefore I'm justified in trafficking. No, that's not how it works. Like, that's not how it works. Yes, there might be a situation where that money goes to one of those things that you don't want it to go to, and you should try your hardest to research and to avoid those things if you can. That's why I personally probably wouldn't buy like a Nestle Kit Kat or something, because Nestle is terrible beyond what they've done to animals and stuff. But yeah, just because it's more complex doesn't actually mean the opposite of the statement is true. It doesn't mean that your argument is true to that we should just go and hurt animals. Like, oh, it's possible that you buy a carrot from a guy who slaughters an animal, so therefore I should slaughter an animal. Like, that's, sometimes people have to stretch like so far, and it's like, just why do you try so hard to be able to hurt animals? Like, veganism is just about trying to not hurt animals. So why are you trying so hard to make it okay to hurt animals? Like, it just seems so crazy to me. It's a false equivalency. Portion of the money goes, yeah, I just think it is faulty logic. If 98% of the world was vegan, would you still have chickens cut up for you? I don't know if you're talking to someone else in the chat or not. I wouldn't. Tell you that much. Let's finish this drink. Okay, I finished it. So if I get violently ill, or like I'm up all night and Easy Breezy is taking care of me, I'll make Easy Breezy make a video about it and how I've probably let go of all of my innards. Okay, let's try another snack while we're at it. These I have also never heard of. Golden raisin sours called Raisels. Watermelon shock. Watermelon shock. I have never heard of this. Let's make sure that it is vegan. You know, we always got to double check. Could say vegan right on the front, or it could say plant-based. Oh man, that's like the new pet peeve, is like things that say plant-based but are made out of animal products still. And it's like, so annoying. Golden raisin sugar. So it's not healthy. It's not good for you. Okay, let's try it. Let's try some raisins. Let's see what happens. Easy breezy vegan while I'm trying these. I'm not sure if Sunny Shine 45 worked in a slaughterhouse, but it's not loud. It's scary. They scream because they smell blood, not to be graphic, but they burn from the gas, eyes, mouth. Yeah, the gas chemically burns like their flesh, and they burn from the inside out. So, oh yeah, plant-based but made with gelatin. No, not plant-based. These things look interesting. They look like they're covered basically in sugar, so it's like raisins and sugar with probably whatever sour dust they put on this. They're good. I mean, they taste like Sour Patches, not as sour. I don't know if they should really be called sours. They're not really very sour. They're kind of just more sweet. But if raisins aren't sweet enough for you and you need extra sweet raisins with a hint of sour, man, Raisels. Where do you even buy Raisels? Where do like Vegan Cuts get some of these snacks from? Because like, yeah, I've never heard of them. They're good though. I would eat them again. I just, yeah, I don't know. Let's try another one while we're at it, because I've been ranting about these comments for a while here. Rice bites with sea salt. Maybe these are going to be, oh, they're gluten-free too. That always worries me because let's be honest, there's some gluten-free stuff that's amazing and there's some gluten-free stuff that's just absolute trash. So let's try these ones out here. They're like little puffs. Look at them. They're so cute. Little tiny puffs. Oh, they're very crunchy. No, that's not my favorite. They're really crunchy, so you know I like that because I'm a chip person, and the crunchier the better. So I love the texture, but it's just these are just sea salt ones, so maybe that's not my cup of tea as much. But I mean they're good. I will definitely eat the whole bag. But I would never like choose these. I would choose if they have another flavor or something that was like spicier or something, because I like spicy chips. Let me know. Do you like spicy chips? Do you like spicy chips, or are you like a plain salted chip person? Because I'm not a plain salted chip person. So if they have another flavor, I would do that. The texture is fantastic. I'll finish all of them. That sounded like a rock. Yeah, they're very crunchy. Very crunchy. They burn their eyes, nose, mouth, anus. That's why they scream, not because of the noise. Yeah, I don't know, like, why would putting gas into a chamber be like that would be so loud that they would be screaming like crazy, but not the fact that they're burning and dying. I think it's probably the fact that they're burning and dying. That's probably why they're screaming. Yeah, vegans already know this, but still do nothing for animals' environment. In what way? What do you mean by that? Austin thinks those things are disgusting. They're just not like the flavor. It's the texture's good. Do you not like the texture? Austin's not. He hates them. He doesn't like them. Sorry to whatever brand that was. What brand was that? Now I shouldn't say it. I won't say it. You can look back. Sleeping gas or chamber gas. It's not like pleasant sleeping. Go watch the video. It's not like they get hooked up to an IV and get put to sleep real nice, and like it's not. No one puts a mask over their mouth and counts down from 10. Like they don't go to sleep. They get put into a chamber flooded with gas, and then they burn, and they scream and they thrash around like crazy, and then oftentimes even that doesn't work, and then they get up to the line and they get their throat stuck with a knife in it and slit their throat while they're fully conscious. Like. This isn't like they get like an IV and get put to sleep like your dog at the vet, who like, because that's what people would do if you really had to put down an animal that you cared about and you were doing it in their best interest because they couldn't live a life anymore, or they were in so much pain or whatever it is. Then they would go and put them down, and they would do it in the most humane way that they actually possibly could. Go watch the pig video. It's not humane. Stale butthole. Austin doesn't. He got me to say stale butthole on a stream. I mean, if that's not worth the stream, I don't know what is. Austin doesn't like salty balls in his mouth. Apparently, he got me to say that on the stream too. But also, I think we know what the truth is there. Okay, I think your last comment got deleted. Oh, at 40, maybe it did. Wait, can you use stun water and chamber gas together, dude? I don't. Why? Why are you trying so hard to do the wrong thing? In some right way. If you really care about the animals here and you really care about them not hurting while they're dying, then don't put them in a slaughterhouse. Like, think about it this way. If you were going, go watch the videos, see what happens to them, and then think about like your grandma or someone that you care about. I don't know who you have that's alive in your life, but think about someone that you care about that maybe is near the end of their life, and tell yourself, like, is this how you would want them to be put down? Like if they had to die, which these animals don't. Most animals are babies when they're killed. They're like 6 months old. Some are a day old when they're slaughtered. The longest is typically like a dairy cow, which is like between 4 to 6 years, but their natural lifespan is 20 years. So it's not like they've lived this full happy life and they've been treated so kind and they got to live out their full life. And now it's time for them to go. They're in a lot of pain and we're going to go put them down in the nicest way that we can. No, they're babies or adolescents, and then they get killed, and it's not in a nice way at all. And most of the time, the life that they've had up until that point also was not nice at all. And they've been separated from their families and everything else. If you wouldn't treat the animals that are in your life like companion animals like that, and that's not how you'd want them put down, or that's not how you would put down humans, then again, I don't think you would do it. But sorry, but gotta go. Sonny, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, and thanks for putting in your dialogue here. I hope maybe we've planted some seeds, and I'd be happy if you came back to a stream and brought up more points. We're happy to address them. Thanks for stopping by. Looks like the Bucks are about to take Game 5 against the Hawks. I don't know if we got any basketball fans out here, but I'm a huge basketball fan. And that's pretty crazy because Giannis isn't even playing tonight, right? Antetokounmpo is he's not even playing, I don't think. I think he was ruled out for the game today. So that'd be pretty crazy. Let me know if that's true, Chris. Let's see here. Let's go to another comment. Hug me 4 months ago. I mean, it's fine if you are vegan. There's nothing wrong with being vegan, but I hate the vegans who are like you, a horrible person. I mean, you need protein for sport. Who are like you? Oh, they're not calling me a horrible person, but they might as well, I guess. I mean, you need protein for sport, and meat has protein. Let me read that again the way that I think they meant it. I mean, it's fine if you're vegan. There's nothing wrong with being vegan, but I hate the vegans who are like, you're a horrible person. I mean, you need protein for sport, and meat has protein. Do you even need sport? I mean, let's just say that you couldn't get all the protein. I can't even believe that we're talking about protein. But let's just say that you couldn't get all of the protein. Do you need sport? Like, is sport more important than animals' lives? Like, and it's not even just sport in general, because you could certainly play sport. It's a sport at whatever excellent level that you're talking about. Go watch the Game Changers. There's plant-based athletes. You can perform at a high level, a professional athlete on plant-based diets. You can get all the protein that you need. All essential amino acids exist in the plant kingdom and come from plants. So you're fine. I have a video on protein. Go watch that. But also, like this first part, I mean, it's fine if you're a vegan. There's nothing wrong with being vegan. Like, people say this all the time, but basically that's them trying to say, look, like, I respect your respectable choice. That's fine. If being vegan is fine and not hurting animals is fine and there's nothing wrong with that, then why don't you just do that? Like it, but then you backhand it by saying, like, basically there is a problem with being vegan, which is you need protein for sport and meat has protein. The whole, like, you should respect my decision all the time, no matter what. Like, it's crazy. Like, again, if you replace the victims in this sentence, the logic just starts to sound absolutely absurd. I mean, it's fine if you're against child abuse. There's nothing wrong with being against child abuse. But I hate the anti-child abuse people who are like, wow, you're a horrible person for abusing children. I mean, you need entertainment. And child abuse is like, it's so crazy. I couldn't finish the sentence because it was so bad. But like, it's just silly. Like, if you're doing something that someone is morally opposed to, then why would they respect that choice? What I do understand is that, like, we've been taught this from a young age. Like, and again, I made this choice for 27 years before going vegan. So I totally get how hard it is sometimes to, like, have that paradigm shift, change that mentality, and, like, snap out of it and realize what's been going on, and to break those habits and to go against something that you've been doing your whole life. So I get how it can be difficult, but just because you've been doing something your whole life doesn't make it right. And no one has to respect those decisions if they think that they're morally wrong. Like if somebody is against child abuse and you're a child abuser, they don't have to respect your personal opinion. Even though it's your personal opinion to do that, they don't have to respect you and they don't have to respect your choice. They're fully within their right to try to change that and use their free speech to try to protest against that decision. So when vegans are out there protesting against these horrible decisions and you're making those decisions, that's what it is. Like, and it's not usually a personal attack. It's not like you're a horrible person. It's the choice that you're making is horrible because it's causing harm to animals, humans, the planet, everything. And we want that to change. We just want it to change. We don't want you to like rot in hell or something. Like we don't want you to be ridiculed in society. We just want you to eat plants and avoid animal skin for clothes and stop going to zoos and circuses and stuff like that. It's not a big deal. Just because vegans are morally superior, it's not our fault. Yeah, I mean, look, this is how it is. For 27 years, I made a decision that I think is wrong, which is to eat animals, wear animal skin, all this stuff that I didn't have to do that caused harm to animals. And now I don't do that. I think I'm a better person today than I was back then. If I didn't, I would change back. So just like you're saying, oh, I don't want to be judged and stuff like that. Well, but I'm judging my previous self too. It's the same thing. Like we just changed. Just change. Okay. Oh, here's a stupid one. Wow, this was on my breakfast video. Such a silly thing. I came up with like 10 or 15 breakfast ideas just for people. So that way they're like, what do I eat for breakfast? It's like, here's some ideas. And the person came on and, wow, those are exactly the same things I eat for breakfast, except for I replace everything with steak. Man, burned. I got so burned. Like the people with the steak emoji and, like comments like this, it's like, that doesn't do anything to us. Like, I don't know. It doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't bother me at all. It's just stupid. It's like, it's not even funny either. And it's not original. Like, that's the thing I dislike. That is the thing that does bother me is just the lack of originality. Like if you're going to try to come and really give it to the vegans, like come up with something super original. Like come and not the steak emoji. You got to give that up. The bacon emoji, you got to give that up. Like the posting pictures of animal products and stuff like that in the Facebook comments and in these like you got to give that up. It's so overdone. Like it's so like it doesn't do anything and it's not original. You think I don't see these things? Like I have technology. I see ads for animal products all the time. Your picture of an animal product didn't like come and get me. Like that doesn't do anything to me. I ate those products for 27 years. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't like you're not doing anything except for making yourself look like a total ass. So it just it's crazy to me that people think that that's so good. Come and burn me, but like give me an original one. I love insults. I love it when people give me good insults, but you got to be creative. Don't come at me with everything that everyone always comes at me with. That's boring. Let's see some comments here. I'm in the best shape of my life. My bestie, ARA, Michelle, former MMA fighter, 4-0. She's been vegan for 10 years and she's going to be on the cover of Women's Fitness magazine. That's badass. Good for her. Good for her. Yeah. I'm also, I would say healthier than I've ever been, not in the terms of exercise by any means, because I've been a lazy couch potato for most of COVID. So not in the terms of exercise, because I used to play like competitive sports and I definitely was in better shape that way. But yeah, all my blood levels are normal and I'm totally healthy and everything else. So, and when I do exercise, I'm so much like I have so much more endurance and everything than I ever did as a meat eater. I never used to run for like hours on a trampoline and on a trampoline. That would be crazy. I would not jump for hours on a trampoline, but on a treadmill and stuff. So yeah, you can be in totally good shape. Yeah, sports more important than animals' lives. No, Chris, wrong. I know multiple professional wrestlers who are vegan in crazy good shape. Yeah, I mean, there's people that were born vegan that are bodybuilders. There's people that have never eaten meat that are bodybuilders, that are professional athletes. Like they're everywhere. most people don't know about them because again, they're not like researching plant-based athletes and what athletes' diets are all the time and stuff like that. Especially if it's not like super mainstream and stuff. But like again, even look at like Tom Brady. He's not in the best shape ever. Like he's not I wouldn't call him the most athletic person on the planet or anything, but his diet is like 95% plant-based or whatever it is. And 6 Super Bowl rings, that doesn't hurt. So it's like, yeah, you can do it. Let's see here. Um that same guy calls women females. I don't know who you're talking about, but yeah, definitely. Agreed. I'm working on losing weight and becoming more fit. Any meal tips? Yeah, I have a whole video on how I lost 70 pounds on a whole food plant based diet. Definitely sticking whole food plant based is the best way to get all the nutrients that you need and be satiated on your diet and still be able to lose weight because you wouldn't be eating a ton of calories. Avoiding heavy calorie foods like oil and of course all animal products would be good too. Um, Otherwise, like, yeah, have fun with food. Try a lot of different flavors. There are a lot of great hacks out there that do actually do things. Dr. Greger has a lot of great material on some of the newer stuff with like intermittent fasting and just drinking water like 30 minutes before you eat and stuff like that. His book, How Not to Diet, would probably be a good place if you're looking for tips on how to be at your healthiest weight while eating a plant-based diet. That'd probably be a good start. And if you don't like to read, then get it on an audiobook. Not helping cause to get people to join the vegan train. Oh no, there's some trash talk in here. That's what I'm trying. Hilarious, Austin. Tom Brady is a good example of a vegan who is also not the greatest person. Yeah, he's not a vegan either. He's not even fully plant-based. He's mostly plant-based, but that's far from being vegan because again, just even if you ate fully plant-based, that doesn't make you vegan. You might not even be trying to avoid harming animals at all. You might just be doing it for the planet or just for health or whatever it is. That doesn't mean that you care about animals. So yeah. I don't know anything about Tom Brady as a person, really. I haven't done much research into that, and I certainly don't know him. But someone have him give me a call. I think I could get him to go fully vegan. Let's see here. Let's get another comment. I like kebab too much to consider being vegan, and also I don't really care if some chicken dies. LOL. Yeah. Those types of comments like are the people that just haven't done any research. Like, and they're just coming in and they're going like, I don't care if this happens, but they've never probably been face to face with it. It's pretty rare that someone's like actually seen slaughterhouse footage or been in a slaughterhouse and they go like, it doesn't bother me. That's pretty rare. And even if that doesn't bother them because that's been normalized for them and that violence has been normalized, that doesn't mean that they don't care about all of the other things like the environment and the benefits for humans and everything else. And then as far as like not liking you like kebab too much, that's, I mean, weird. That's not one that I would normally hear, but yeah, there's you can get vegan kebab. So that's totally fine. And also again, man, when I started eating vegan, I ate so many more plant dishes that were amazing in flavor than I ever did with eating animal products. Like there's basically any animal product you can replace for like the taste and texture, at least getting it close enough, but you can't turn animal products to taste into like spice or anything like that. Like the flavors that you can explore with 80,000 edible plant species is unreal. So I mean, if you like one specific food too much, then I'm assuming that every single other food that you eat is vegan and that you only eat that one because it's the one that you can't give up, and that you also avoid zoos and leather and all the other things that hurt animals because you're vegan besides the kebab, I assume, because you believe in the cause. I'm definitely assuming that you don't use the kebab to as an excuse to harm animals in every single aspect of your life. But also you can replace your kebab with vegan kebab. Are they from Britain? I don't know. I can't tell their location. Let me call them. I don't have their number. I feel like kebab is more common there. Yeah, it's very possible. Right. I'd love some naan bread. Oh my gosh, yeah. Indian food, and other all Asian food for me is like great. I love Thai food, I love sushi, and I have all of those things as a vegan. American food like burgers and all that sort of stuff I have as a vegan. Pizza and spaghetti and all these great pasta dishes and Italian food I have as a vegan. Like if you came and ate at my house for like a week, you would realize that the food that we eat's not crazy expensive most of the time, and it's crazy delicious. Just like the person who said you can't make friends with a salad, I don't think you're making a very good salad. You can just figure it out. Just figure out how to eat some better food. It there's a learning curve. There's a learning curve to changing your entire diet to replace foods. Yeah, no duh. You're gonna have some challenges. You're gonna have to figure stuff out. I know Brianna, when we went vegan, was like, what are we gonna buy? And I remember the first dish that we had was like just a pretty plain pasta dish. And I don't think it would have blown anyone's mind or anything like that, but we both ate it and we're like, oh wow, this is really tasty, and I didn't miss the meat at all or anything, you know? So like, yeah, there's a learning curve. You have to figure out what to shop for. You've got to figure out what to make and how to cook those dishes. You got to figure out at restaurants what you can get. It's just like if you're changing your diet, it's the same type of thing as if you're changing to where you're like gluten-free or something like that, except for honestly less restrictive in my mind. But like if you change to a gluten-free diet, you got to figure out what products have gluten, what products don't. You got to figure out at restaurants what you can get. You got to figure out new dishes to cook and all. It's no different. It's no different. Yeah, there's a learning curve, but when you consider all of the benefits for animals, that should be enough to go, yeah, it's worth the learning curve. So, the 40-year-old vegan, what? DMs? What does that have to do with morality? DMs have everything to do with morality, Chris. I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but let's just assume that they do. What's a good replacement for chicken parm? Well, there's like a lot of vegan chicken products, so I assume you can make a good one. Maybe I'll look up some recipes and make a video on that because I haven't done I haven't done a recipe video in a long time. So maybe I'll take a look. I don't think I've had vegan chicken parm, I feel like, at a restaurant maybe since being vegan, but I certainly haven't made it. I'm trying to remember where I had that. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out, make a video about it. It's unnatural. It destroys your gut. Veganism destroyed me. Yep, same here. Same with all the lifelong vegans, and same with everyone else. Yeah. There's nothing in animal products that you can't get from plants. So if you had a diet that destroyed your gut, it was something on your diet that you were lacking or something else, or probably a previous underlying condition. I have friends like that are like, oh, it's so hard for me to do this, or it would be hard for me to go vegan because I can't because of this thing. And it's like, well, you need to get that fixed. Like if you have Crohn's or no, you can't necessarily get everything fixed. But yeah, it's like, and again, yeah, do you have evidence for this? It doesn't even matter because there would just be anecdotes. Like I'm gonna rely on the large body of scientific evidence and the professionals in this field who have done the studies and done all that sort of stuff, and say that eating a whole food plant-based diet or any sort of plant-based diet, as long as it's well planned, can be adequate for all stages of the life cycle. So, and again, there's lifelong vegans. Like, yeah. So, and he destroyed his gut and causes mental illness. Mm-hmm. Yep. Show me the studies. Send me the studies where large populations of vegans have all had their guts destroyed and have higher rates of destroyed guts and mental illness and everything else. Like, not interested in anecdotes. Let's see here. Trash enthusiast. I just dislike when vegans pull the morally superior notion. Hello, subjective. That's a good comment. Hello, subjective. Well, hello, subjective. How are you? Give me a call, subjective. Yeah, I dislike when the vegans pull the morally superior notion. Again, just replace the vegan with some other person. And like, I just dislike it when the anti-child abusers pull the morally superior notion. Hello, subjective. Like, Yeah, okay, if you believe morality is subjective, then so would be the child abuser, and the anti-child abuser would make sense in that sentence, but you probably wouldn't follow along with it because it's absurd. Like, the vegans pull the morally superior notion. Let's be clear. Like, if you're vegan, that doesn't make you a better person than everyone else on the planet. So I understand where you're coming from. I get it. But if we're not talking about the person, there's so much complexity when it comes to like, oh, let's judge a human being and if they're a good person or a bad person. Like, you could find redeemable qualities in a lot of people, you could find terrible qualities in a lot of people, and if you really follow the decisions all the way down the path, like there's going to be harm and there's going to be all this sort of stuff. But like, the thing is, let's not talk about the person being morally superior. Let's just talk about the choice being morally superior. Do you believe that it would be better, if possible, to not harm animals? Do you think that that would be morally better? Like a dog or a cat? Like, would it be better to not kick the dog or to kick the dog? And if you say, well, it'd be better to not kick the dog because you think it'd be better to not cause harm to the other being or something, then there you have it. It's morally superior to not do that. Just like it's morally superior to not kill them and eat them, or kill them and wear their skins for leather, or exploit them and, inseminate them and hold them up on a rape rack and everything else, and then take their babies away just so you can have a glass of milk. There are decisions that are morally superior than others. I would say someone that abuses children, or not the someone, because again, I'm not going to judge an entire person off of just the one act or whatever, but like, yeah, I would say that abusing children is worse than not abusing children. And if that makes me a smug, anti-child abuse type of person, I'll just wear the label proudly, I guess. JK, I'm trolling. Haha, I am vegan myself. See? Oh man, Darkest Egg, you had us going. You're a vegan, you little troll. Yes, and I'm betting your farts smell better, Austin. Austin, do your farts smell better? Let us know. Let us know. Can we get off Austin farts? No. I just dialed in on it. We have to explore Austin farts. That's not a normal thing, to be honest. Canned food can generally cause that, or you may be missing something for real. I have a few nutritionist friends. What are you missing, Austin? What did I miss up here? Honestly, though, I've never farted more in my life. Yeah, that does happen for people, but that is usually more like temporary as you're adjusting to the diet. That didn't happen to me, so it doesn't happen to everybody, but yeah, you might actually have something going on with your gut or something. Maybe you need to see a gastroenterologist or a nutritionist. I don't know, Austin. I'll take care of you. We'll get you hooked up. I've got plenty of dietitians and people. Let's get another snack. Man, I need another snack. What is this? Oh, this is cashew spread. Free of palm oil. Okay, well, but is it ethical cashews? Like, who knows? As a reminder, I'm eating these snacks that come from Vegan Cuts. I'm pretty impressed with like the amount of snacks that you get. I have no idea how much this costs or anything though, because it was sent to me by my work, which is very nice of them. They're very accommodating of all of my requests when it comes to my vegan lifestyle and everything. Like whenever they send out clothes and swag and stuff like that, they make sure that like my stuff doesn't have like leather on it and all that. They're very good. They're very good about stuff like that. And it's very nice of them to send me this box, even though I didn't get to eat any of this for like months. Oh, there's rice. Should I just eat some raw rice? This looks good though. Right rice medley. Cajun spice with ancient grains. This looks really good. Oh man. Best by December. We're good. Oh man, we're gonna have this. I'll have to follow up with y'all and let you know how this is. But this looks, I love spicy things. I like Cajun. This will be great. It's like a whole bag of rice. I mean, what? But I can't have that now. I didn't know. I didn't know that there's gonna be rice in there. I also didn't know that there was gonna be like a whole thing of oat milk. Did we find out if the oat milk was expired or not? June 2nd. Let's drink it. Let's drink it. Is it supposed to be refrigerated? No, it couldn't have been because they shipped it, right? Okay, we're gonna open up this Minor Figures organic oat milk, and this isn't a fair review on them by any means because I should have had it a long time ago. So let's find out. I mean, it doesn't smell bad, but honestly, I have a terrible sense of smell. Um, Chug the oat milk. Why? I already drank the expired nitro cold brew. Do I really need to chug? Do you want to be up with me all night, like while I'm dying or something? I'll drink. I'll drink part of it. I don't know that I'll drink the whole thing unless you guys all really challenge me to. No, I don't think it's bad. It's not as I don't know. No, I don't think it's bad. I think it because it tastes good, but it doesn't quite taste how I expected it to. So I'm not sure that this is not expired. Uh, let's drink some more. Hi, I'm Walter. Welcome to Jackass. Yeah, I had SIBO for a while at Darkest Egg. Yeah, pretty sure raw rice is dangerous. Yeah, probably. I won't eat it raw. Chug the oat milk. Yeah, no. Shake it up first. I did shake it up. Um, I hate those vegans that are morally superior, says the person who thinks their taste buds are superior to someone's entire existence. Yeah, grumpy vegan gamer. Good one. That's, yeah, spot on. I mean, yeah, because that's really all it is. Because again, you can't say nutrients, you can't say all that. You can get all of that on plant-based diets. So it's really the only thing that you're eating it for is taste buds or convenience, and either one is probably not a really great excuse to take an entire life of another being. So yeah, I'm gonna drink some more of this. Maybe I'll get SIBO from this, and we'll have to. Uh, I'll have a video on SIBO. It's not. It's not bad. It almost feels like there's like a taste of like cinnamon in here or something. Um, but there's not, so maybe it's bad. Who knows? I'll chug it. I'll drink the rest of it. I'll drink the rest of it before the stream's over. I'm only gonna go probably for another little bit here, but I'll try to drink the rest of it before I get off. And if I don't drink the rest of it, no, I'll drink the rest of it at the very end. At least I'll chug this whole thing. So stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll be vomiting. Um, let's this comment a month ago. The reason this was on my why people hate vegans video, which is another really popular one, which I really love. Honestly, it's probably my favorite video that I've done, or at least one of them. Go check that one out if you haven't. It's like I I tried to be very even keel about it. I did the research, I followed the studies, and man, that video gets lit up with people that hate vegans because it ranks for some of those search terms. And so there's a lot of people that I think are searching to like try to justify why they hate vegans, and then they come on to that video and they just talk about why they hate vegans. And a lot of these are again because vegans are so smug and so morally superior and all this sort of stuff and yada yada. But there's actually a lot of research, surprisingly, that's been done about this. And there's just a lot of things with cognitive dissonance and people's guilty conscience and all this sort of stuff, and people breaking the cognitive dissonance and stuff like that of why people hate vegans. I mean, I go into a lot of detail in the video, but it gets a lot of hate. And one of the comments was the reason is that the reason that people hate vegans is that there tends to be a misanthropic slant with veganism. No, I don't think so. Like, I don't think that. I mean, by all means, if somebody thinks there is and has research to provide that, then put it forward. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think that vegans are against um like humanity or um a lot of people say that vegans are like anti-civilization and a lot of things that really just aren't vegans. It's interesting actually how many people have opinions about vegans and what they like label the entire group of vegans as like leftists, pro-choice, a lot of things that they lump vegans with. And sometimes there is like a correlation, I would say. I would say probably I would say most vegans probably do lean left, but veganism has nothing to do with any of that. Like veganism doesn't have any of these it's not a requirement. Like if you want to be a pro-life vegan, or you want to be a really far right vegan or something like that, like you might have hypocrisies in other parts of your life or something like that with some of your other beliefs or something, but you can still not eat animals and you could still be vegan and be Republican or be a Christian or be whatever it is. Like, not all vegans are like left atheist or left agnostic type of people that are all pro-choice and misanthropic, and like, yeah, that's a lot of labels on vegans. And like another one that I saw was like a comment that was like, oh man, that's because all the vegans I know are basically terrorists that are out there shouting, and all the vegans are like, it's like, man, all the vegans are like that. That's like a weird label to put on an entire group of people when like there's millions of vegans. I know in like percentage wise of the population, that's not a lot. We're talking about like 1% of the population. Maybe it's up to like 2, maybe it's up to 4, maybe it's up to 6. It's kind of hard to tell because those numbers don't come out like right away and there's been so much growth recently. So I understand like percentage wise, there's not as many vegans as there are like non-vegans, but ultimately there's a lot, millions and millions, and like all of them are not terrorists. That's the whole stream. Not all vegans are terrorists. Not all vegans are out there doing what you would call terrorist activities, which is like protesting in stores and stuff like that. It's just crazy stuff. Like, where I'm not saying those activities are crazy. I'm just saying like people think those things are crazy. And those things are oftentimes the things that make change, is those crazy, crazy terrorist protests. Um, Not all vegans are terrorists. Most of the vegans that you know are probably super quiet and hate talking about being vegan because they just get shit for it probably all the time. So most of the people that you know are probably not activists. They're not out there yelling and shouting about vegans or the vegan agenda or any of that sort of stuff. They're quiet. They keep to themselves and they just don't harm animals. And guess what? Even if all the other vegans were like that, when you become a vegan, you don't have to be like that if you don't want to. Being a vegan, it's not a requirement to go out there and to be a terrorist, surprisingly. You can just be a vegan and be quiet yourself. Like, someone else's action that you might consider being like a terrorist activity or something does not justify you doing something else that you think is morally wrong. If you think it's morally wrong to hurt animals and to support that with your dollars, then avoid that yourself and don't do the other things that you also think are wrong. So yeah. Let's see what's going on in here in the chat. I take one Prescript Biotics. Yeah, we're talking about SIBO, it seems like, here. I haven't gotten mine yet from this oat milk, but I am going to try. Exactly. Vegans get lumped into these categories, but carnists will get upset, for example, when we say vegans are morally superior. Then they'll say, not all vegans. Well, make up your mind. Yeah, I want to do a whole video about like all the like talking out of both sides of your mouth sort of things that non-vegans say, because there are a lot of them. And I've started to notice them more and more recently. I'll make a video about that at some point. It might not have actually any real content. It might just be like a sketch, but I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it happen. Some people get pushed out of their family circles because they are trying to protect animals. Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's like, and I talk about this about like the hardest thing being vegan. And I talk about it in videos and stuff too. It's like, it's definitely like some of your interactions with other humans and how disappointing that can be, and the social surroundings. And that's the people that are vegan that end up quitting being a vegan. Like, they haven't had any moral changes. They didn't like change their belief system. They didn't have any health problems. Like, I'm not saying none of them did. I'm saying most people that decide to that decide to stop living a vegan lifestyle, or more specifically, like probably stop just eating a plant-based diet, is not because of health, not because of anything else besides social surroundings. And there are studies to back this up. Like, if you're not in a supportive social surrounding, or it's not convenient and you're not getting supported to do something, it's very hard to do it. I mean, look at all of the communities of people that have been oppressed for so long, and how hard it's been for some of them to be themselves, or to do what they think is morally right, or to do what they want to do because people don't support them. So that's definitely the hardest part. And I've had, like, I think a lot of vegans have had falling out with, have fallen out, I guess, with family members, friends, things like that. And it's almost always the same thing where like they'll ask you why you're vegan. You'll tell them why you're vegan and they will just shout at you. He'll be like, well, I'm vegan because I think it's wrong to hurt animals. Da, da, da. They'll be like, wow, so you think I'm a jerk and blah, blah, blah. You're so high and mighty. And he's like, wow, you asked why I'm vegan and I'm telling you. Like, um, yeah, I have a little sketch at the beginning of my why people hate vegans video, and I think it's pretty spot on to a lot of conversations that vegans have had. So, Chris Cook hates being lumped in a category, then lumps others in a category, says the 40-year-old vegan. I don't know what he said, but yes. Just gonna blindly agree or disagree with people. My one uncle constantly joked about me being vegan every time I was around him. Yeah, but his health was suffering, so I honestly feel bad for him. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about like people that are making jokes about vegans or like giving vegans a hard time and stuff like that. Like it sucks. It sucks when you're the person that's getting that and receiving that, but ultimately like a lot of the times we're sitting there thinking how we just want you to change, and we don't want you to have the health problems that people have from eating animal products or other health things too, and like people care about you and stuff like that. And so you still care about your friends, you still care about your family, even though they're saying like, you know, awful things towards you. You don't like wish them ill, you just want them to change. And all you're wanting to do is just to not hurt animals. Like, and someone's giving you such a hard time about not wanting to hurt animals, and it's all just because they want to continue to hurt animals, and it's because of their taste, pleasure, their convenience. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it sucks. But yeah, most of the time you just want them to be changed like you were. Like you just want them to stop hurting animals, because you want to see the world change, and they will. It'll take time, but they will. They'll change. Um, let's see here. I'm all for joking around. How's it still entertaining? Grow up. Yeah. Yeah, it's frustrating. I remember my sis got super triggered first year I was vegan. Literally told me to fuck off. Yeah, haha. Yeah, same. I asked why she doesn't eat her dog, and she went off the wall. Yeah, you don't want to like. It's so tough in those conversations because if you make any of those like little snappy comments, like, oh man, they turn so fast and they get crazy. Um, uh, they can dish out the jokes and stuff, but they don't like to take them or anything, or any moral points against them or any logical points. It's like, sadly, all my meat eating jokes are too serious and dark because I take it very serious. Yeah, it's tough in activism or even just talking to your friends or even on the internet because you want to make serious points, but you do have to like kind of keep a light tone, and you're trying to be like in my videos, I'm trying to be funny even though this topic's not funny at all. Like, you know, we try to make sketches in our videos with Easy Breezy Vegan and I. Like we try to make sketches, we try to bring comedy into it, we try so hard to like, you know, be positive and not just be like, wow, you're a shitty person for not being vegan, be a vegan, blah blah blah, because we don't think that that's the way to get through to people, and we don't think that that's the way to make change. So we try very hard to be lighthearted and to break down barriers, but still present a very serious topic. And sometimes it's more serious, sometimes it's more jokey, but yeah, it's a tough balance because obviously none of it's funny. Like, animals dying is not funny, the planet being destroyed is not funny, people dying of heart disease not funny. Like, it sucks. Peace with Reese. Welcome, man. Good to have you. We need to have you on here too, for sure. Peace with Reese. Go check out his channel. It's fantastic. He has some videos that I just think are so clever, so good. I mean, obviously, I think your most popular video is the Cadbury. I think it's Cadbury egg video. God, it's so good. Reese, what time is it there? Aren't you like? Isn't it like 3 o'clock in the morning or something? Like, you're crazy. What time is it there? Um. Anyway, let's go for one more snack and one more comment, and then I'm gonna bounce. Oh, and I have to finish chugging this probably expired oat milk. Um, this is the Wiley Wallaby Soft Chew. I feel like I've seen these before, but I have not had them. Classic red, so they're like little Twizzlers, I guess. Interesting. Yeah, a little like licorice. I'm glad it's not black licorice. Let me know, are you a black licorice fan or a red licorice person? I'm definitely not a black licorice person at all. I don't, I'm just that person. I don't like it at all. Thank goodness that's not required to be a vegan. My goodness. All right, this is the last snack I'm gonna try. They did also have these like cheddar squares. I have had these before. And then there's this Hungry Buddha bar. I haven't had that, but I'll try it. And there's also the cashew spread and other things. So I don't know. Overall, I would say Vegan Cuts box, a win. I would say that's you get a lot of stuff. Again, I have no idea how much it costs because my work sent it to me. So I don't know that. You have to go to their site and figure that out. But in the terms of how many snacks you get and the variety, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's cool. So black licorice literally has lead in it. Oh God. Well, don't have that then. Maybe that's why I don't like it. Um, I'm a red boy. Did we find out what time it was for you, Reese? Let me see here. It's 10:30 a.m. Oh, really? Wait, what? You live in Bangkok? No, you don't. I'm British, but I lived here for about. Do you really live in Bangkok? I thought you were in a different time zone than that, and I didn't think it was 10:30, so that's not as crazy. I thought it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm glad you're not like a crazy late person like that. These are really big. They're really like thick little licorice pieces. The package says soft and chewy, so I guess that's what I should have expected. Plus, it's licorice, so what else would you expect? But I don't know. It's kind of like it's not my favorite texture. The flavor's good. Tastes like a Twizzler or anything. But yeah. Okay. So black licorice is great if you're trying to kill yourself slowly. Yeah, I guess so. If it has lead in it, maybe don't eat too much. Um, that sounds like a bad idea. Black licorice is nasty. I used to love Tiger ice cream, and it has black licorice in it. Yeah, darkest egg. Black licorice. No, it's like from the fennel seed, right? That's what it is, I think. And yeah, anything with that in it, I'm just like, wow, gross. I don't like it. Let me know if there's something that I should have that has like black licorice or fennel in it that I'd actually like. Yeah, it's a serious problem with elderly folks who eat too much black licorice and get lead poisoning. Jim, that's crazy. I had no idea about that, but it just makes me so happy that I don't like black licorice. Here's this last comment that I have for us to go through. It's just from a guy named Jason. The vegans I keep coming across, coming is misspelled, not the way you would think. The vegans I keep coming across. Don't be coming across any vegans. The vegans I keep coming across keep attacking me, saying that if you eat meat, you're worse than Hitler. What? Like what vegans? Like the vegans that you just happen to stumble across. Like you're just like, I'm walking down the street. Oh, and then this person's like, hey, I'm vegan and you're worse than Hitler. Like, what do you mean by this? The vegans that I keep coming across all have this same mentality that I'm just worse than Hitler. No, they don't. No one says that. Maybe like a vegan said that at some point in time or referenced Hitler or something and you took it the wrong way. And then now you've put that onto all vegans. But if you don't know any vegans that won't accuse you of being Hitler, come be friends with me, Jason. I won't accuse you of being Hitler. I will try to convince you to be a vegan and I'll point out all the logical reasons as to why you should do that, but I won't accuse you of being worse than Hitler. It would take a lot to be worse than Hitler. I don't know. But again, I think that's the whole thing is like people like to label a whole group of people and then, yeah, it's just crazy. Peaceful 3, somebody probably made a Holocaust comparison and then the person chose to get offended rather than consider why that comparison was made. Yeah, I never made a video in response to any of the James Aspie things or anything like that about the word, the use of the word Holocaust or people don't like the words rape or murder sometimes. They don't like certain words because they think it's like reserved for exclusive groups and yada yada. I mean, the definitions of the words and stuff like that obviously make sense. Here's my stance on it though, is like, I'm just looking for the most effective way to try to communicate. And in my experience, when you hit on like sensitive subjects like that, they get more defensive. I understand that James Aspie and a lot of people have the idea that it will trigger them and that gets them thinking, and that does happen. And but there's no like we don't have stats on this. We don't know that using the word Holocaust is good for activism or is bad for activism. We don't know if it's caused people to change or hasn't in numbers. Like we have anecdotes on both sides and stuff. So like for me, and this is just for me and the way that I want to do activism. Like I want to try to bring guards down and have them seriously have conversations. And I feel like those words sometimes raise walls and make it harder, even though that they factually are accurate. They match the definition of what's going on with the animals. It is an animal holocaust. Not going to deny that or anything. But I just don't know that the words are effective in activism, at least for me. But I'm also glad that there's a bunch of people doing activism not in the way that I do it. I think that's like my favorite thing is that I'm not typically the person that's going to go and do like a disruption, but I see people do that all over Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that, and they bring about change. I mean, so I love that they're doing that. And I think other people respond well to other things. So I think we need activists of all different kinds. And so I think if some people use that word and that connects with some people and makes them connect the dots in their brain, great. If it turns other people off, that's not good. But hopefully those other people will be turned on by a different form of activism. So yeah, I just think Animal Holocaust, good metal band. There's probably a lot of things from this stream that would be good metal band names that came in. But yeah, I just feel like I just feel like what we need is more activists and more people talking about how to live a vegan lifestyle and getting people to do that. And I think all forms of activism are going to be effective for someone probably. So I like that they all exist, unless they're doing something actually unethical. But the people that like go and shout in stores, people don't like it, but it works. And we take a look at some of the people that are some of the recent companies that are changing, like Canada Goose giving up fur and Neiman Marcus giving up fur. They didn't just do that out of their own, like, oh, you know what? We think this is bad. Like people were protesting them consistently. And that's why it started to give them bad publicity and they decided to change and stuff like that. They didn't just change out of the goodness of their heart. They probably would have done that a long time ago. They're making a lot of money off of those products. So why would they want to disrupt their supply chain and change to something else if they don't have to? So hopefully part of it was them making moral choices and stuff, but a lot of it was from somebody shouting and protesting. And as we look at other movements throughout history, there's been a lot of shouting and a lot of protests, and we don't look at them and go like, wow, shut up, why can't you do it better? Like, no, they're effective. So I just think that about like those words and those types of activism, that's my thought on some of those things. I never made a video about that, but those are my thoughts. Yeah, 40-year-old vegan, you can be on Peace with Reese's podcast once you've come onto my channel, and not a moment sooner. I'm just kidding, of course. Peace with Reese. The 40-year-old vegan, you need to be on everyone's channel telling your story everywhere. That's what we need. Sorry for hijacking. I forgive you. Yes, we need your story out there because I think it'll be a powerful one. So get it on the podcast and get it on my channel and get it everywhere. I'm going to wrap this up here. I do have to chug this oat milk. Is there any last questions that you'd like me to answer or anything? Otherwise, I'm just going to chug this oat milk and then I'm going to sign off and probably go crap. Totally organic, suitable for vegans. Not if it's terrible, not if it's bad. It's not suitable for anyone. Okay, there's a lot of this left. This is not like a little shot left or anything like this. Like all half, 3/4 of the container that's left here. So this is probably not good. ASMR chug? No. Don't tell Ellie. Ellie wants you too. You're in high demand. Oh my gosh. I don't think it's bad. So I think I'm going to be in, I don't know. We'll find out. Oh my, OMFG, the sound. The band Cattle Mutilation is an actual band and vegan. See? Activism in all forms. Activism and all in all forms. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. I'm like full. It's not even like disgusting or anything. It actually tastes good. I don't understand why it tastes like cinnamon if there's no cinnamon in it. Let me just double check that again. Sunflower oil, salt, organic oats, water. I mean, it doesn't, there's no, but it tastes like cinnamon. Does oat milk typically taste like cinnamon? I don't know, but I'm so full that I'm feeling like this is not very good right now. What snack should I get for next time? Does anybody know of any other like snack boxes or like any other food that I should try for the next stream? Or any other topics that you'd like me to do for future videos? Definitely drop that down below. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like the video if you haven't already and check out some of the other content. I appreciate, again, everyone's patience while I've been taking this time off. I'm super happy to be back. Easy Breezy Vegan, pour it on your face. No, I have expensive electronics and stuff, and I will not do that right now. Rhymes with geese. Reese's Geese's. I eat chicken wings and review them mainly in Tucson and have done over 100 reviews. I know, Chris, but we got to get you converted to just doing plant-based hot wing reviews. And it's going to have to be a lot that you probably make on your own and not eat out at places because there's not that many places that have the vegan wings. Although that's becoming so popular now that it's probably going to be a lot more in the future. I've invited Walter to do a cauliflower wing review. I know, yeah. I'm telling you, I need to have you on. But you're telling me that if I have you on, I'll get kicked off of YouTube or something. So I don't know. Yeah. Austin's always down to eat hot things. That's what I feel like. He's licking his lips. You can't see it, but it's disgusting. It's very sensual in this room. It's not as disgusting as chugging this oat milk, but you got to do what you got to do. So, any other snacks that I should try? We should definitely do a cauliflower wing review for sure. And we should just have you on to chat, Chris. You've had some crazy comments in the past. And I don't against TOS. Yeah, good. Don't break the TOS. YouTube wouldn't like it. But I think we'd have a good conversation. You hear the laughing in the background. Yeah, that's Austin licking his lips and laughing about it like a weird hyena. What kind of guy sits in the room while you live stream, licks their lips, and then laughs? You can't trust a guy like that. But again, shout out to Austin. He helped me get this all set up for the first time. And his channel on Twitch is Brave Fox Live. He does great streams. Definitely, if you're on Twitch, go check him out, or on Facebook or Instagram. He does editing photos and games and videos and all this sort of stuff. Really good there. Check out all these channels that are on here too, with like Peace with Reese and Easy Breezy Vegan, of course. Again, go subscribe to Easy Breezy Vegan. What are all you doing? I know that you're subscribed to me. Some of y'all, it's 1,000 subscribers, and I know that some of you are not subscribed to Easy Breezy Vegan. So go do it. Go get it done. Stop messing around. Good. Vegan candy. Man, I know, but like, how much junk food can I have, Jim? Like, I just want to do. Can't you like do like kale reviews? Isn't anyone on the internet interested in kale reviews? No one. Austin's interested in kale reviews. You want to see the least watched stream of all time? I'm gonna do kale reviews. Let's see how many people hop on that. That would be pretty terrible. I'm almost done with this, so this is your last chance to tell me any recommendations for next time. Eat kale. Taste different apple types. We all know that there's only one good apple, and it's Honeycrisp. What's the point in doing the taste test? There's other ones that are good that you're probably all going to write right now and go, no, I like these apples. Okay, yeah, but Honeycrisp is the best. So, not to say any of yours is boring, but mine could use a bit of work. Your kale reviews? I think your kale reviews are great. Okay, I'm done with that. That's disgusting. Thanks for hopping on, everybody. I'll let you know when the next live stream is happening. Let me know if there's anything that you would like to see videos about. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to join our Discord. Again, newer there, but I would really like to build that platform up because I think it's really well suited to what we want to do. So thanks again for supporting. I really appreciate it. Have a great evening or great morning wherever you're at, and I will see you next time. Peace.